Hello and welcome to Middle East Matters. I'm Rochelle Ferguson-Buyahi. Coming up on this week's show. Largely underrepresented in politics, women running for elections in Iran call for change. We explore a makeshift school where orphan children are being cared for in the Syrian city of Aleppo. Plus, using art against violence, we look at how one artist is denouncing the conflict around him. We begin in Iran, where women's rights remain largely underrepresented in politics. Of over 6,000 candidates, under 600 women have been allowed to run for parliament, known as the Majlis in Iran. Well, Sanam Shantier went to meet one of the women campaigning for change in upcoming polls.
Campaigning for public office with less than a week to go, Iran's Sohaila Jalodarzadeh. The 57-year-old hopeful is one of 586 women who's been approved to run for the Islamic Republic's parliament, and she's up against over 6,000 of her male contemporaries. While Iranian women are amongst the most highly educated in the region, they're still one step behind men in the workforce.
At the moment, there are issues when it comes to women's employment. We're certainly looking for opportunities with higher income for women.
From the podium, Jalodarzadeh calls for improved labour laws, and the reception is more than welcoming. Today, the former lawmaker who served 2 previous terms in parliament is extremely popular amongst reform-minded voters, especially women.
We need to make arrangements for women to take part in various developmental programs so they can find their rightful place in society and become equal to their male counterparts.
Since the country's 1979 revolution, some 49 women have served parliament. That's only 3% of all seats. In a largely conservative society, many are adamant to get those numbers up.
I'm voting because I'm a woman and she can protect working women in our country.
Encouraged by the promises Hassan Rouhani made during his presidential campaign back in 2013, Iranian women are today fighting for better positions in the workplace. Nazanin Daneshvar is one of the country's top entrepreneurs. At 32, the CEO of the Iranian version of Groupon has 100 employees. For the former London resident, the presence of women in Iran's political landscape is increasingly important.
What I've been looking at the names of the candidates and how they have participated, it is actually proving that they are much more enthusiastic about being a part of the bigger picture of the politics in Iran. So hopefully in the next election, the things are going to change and we will see much more women.
While unlike their neighboring country, Saudi Arabia, where women have only just gained the right to vote, Iranian women can cast ballot and drive, they still want more. One of those desires a Ministry of Women's Affairs, a plan previously proposed by the country's president.
The Syrian regime and the country's main opposition group have agreed to a truce set to take effect on Saturday. The cessation of hostilities announced by Washington and Moscow doesn't include the main jihadist groups Islamic State and Al-Nusra Front. The deal follows the country's bloodiest rebel attack yet, with at least 134 people, mostly civilians, killed in twin explosions near Damascus. Still in Syria, the situation in the city of Aleppo is increasingly worrying for civilians caught up in the conflict. Hundreds of children are trapped there after their parents were killed in airstrikes. They're being looked after by volunteers in a makeshift underground school. Catherine Clifford has the details for us.
They're playing together like children would anywhere in the world. But these are orphans in the heart of war-torn Aleppo. They live at this school and are looked after here by volunteers. These images were filmed and sent to us by residents in the city. This 8-year-old girl has just arrived.
A bomb fell on our house. My mum and dad were killed. I was left alone with my brothers and sisters for 2 months.
The school is in the middle of this torn-apart neighbourhood. Russian planes have been bombing it ruthlessly, sparing neither hospitals nor schools. Almost every day, the children are sent down beneath the ground.
We have 2 floors on the ground, and we send the children down there to protect them from the regime's barrels bombs and Russian strikes.
Electricity is long gone in Aleppo. Down here, a generator is needed so the children can see to do their work. Its loud noises a reminder of the war going on just meters away. It would be extremely difficult to get these children out of Aleppo. Regime forces have now surrounded almost the entire city. But the teacher does her best to give a sense of normality in the classroom. But these children are at least going to school. Almost 2.5 million Syrian children are not in education as a result of the war, and thousands more have died. Here, teachers are not just teachers, but also a surrogate parents. Why don't we have toys and light anymore? The children sing. Where is the beautiful sun that lit up this city? Together in their refuge, the children manage a smile. A rare thing indeed in today's Aleppo.
In Iraq, before the fall of Saddam Hussein, an estimated 1.2 million Christians lived in the country in relative security. Well, amid increased attacks from the Islamic State group, that number has decreased by 2/3. Many Iraqi Christians have fled, but a small community still marks Lent in the capital, Baghdad, as Olivia Salazar-Winspear reports.
The bells ring in Baghdad's old Christian quarter at the beginning of Lent. The Iraqi capital's oldest church, Mary, Mother of Sorrows, bears a bittersweet name, for this community has seen much suffering. 60 churches attacked in the last decade and 1,000 Christians kidnapped or killed. The Islamic State group's reign of terror means this congregation is living in fear.
We receive threats on an almost daily basis. We are easy targets for the militias and the Islamic extremists.
The local priest has tried to show tenacity in the face of adversity, but now he's pessimistic.
Islamist groups want to legislate based on Muslim laws. That's not right. We want to live in harmony with everyone else. But unfortunately, they don't understand.
In the north of the country, close to Mosul, the persecution has been more intense, and many refugees have found themselves in camps like this one. Some 200 Christian families live in these basic shelters. Many of them forced to leave after Islamic State militants seized their home region in June 2014. Aris bears the physical scars of that trauma.
They hung me upside down from my feet with my head hanging down. They tortured me with electric shocks. Then they hit me with anything they could find. Wooden bats, metal wire.
In this cafe, others give accounts that are just as violent. Many say they want to leave Iraq since Islamist forces have left them with no place here.
There's not one Christian who wants to stay in Iraq. Even if it is the land of our ancestors, we don't want it anymore. They can have it.
Iraqi Christians can boast of a 1,700-year presence in this country, long before the arrival of Islam, a historical community which is shrinking and whose future looks bleak.
Still in Iraq, using art to denounce violence is becoming an increasingly popular tool. Hussein Adel is one young artist who's dedicated to the cause. The 20-year-old has created a mock bomb disposal suit to shield himself from the violence around him. Catherine Clifford and Sophie Gagnon explain.
This Baghdad tailor is making the finishing touches to a rather unusual job, after this young artist came to him with the design for a fake bomb disposal suit to be used as part of a piece of performance art.
There should be something available to protect us. In most cases, we, the people, are at risk. So I started to think of individual solutions, and that's how the idea for this artwork came to me, whilst I was thinking of ways to protect myself.
Hussein Adel is just 20 years old, but he's no stranger to violence and loss. When his friend was killed by a car bomb last year, Hussein began this project as a means to express his fear and sadness.
The bomb suit is a performance artwork that consists of walking around Baghdad and as in normal daily life, while wearing a bomb suit. This came about because of the explosions and the war and the fear instilled in me after several explosions took place around me.
The performance consists of Hussein's friend a Muslim wearing the suit and attracting the attention of passers-by. Baghdadis look on with surprise and amusement.
The goal and the purpose of this project, which is going to be displayed soon in a photo exhibition, is to show the public how critical the situation has become. I wanted to plant the question in people's minds, could this be how we might all look one day because of current circumstances?
Since the US invasion in 2003, the Iraqi capital has been targeted by hundreds of car bomb attacks. Tens of thousands of civilians have been killed. Some survivors, like Hussein, hope to process this daily threat through artistic expression.
Well, that's all from your Middle East Matters team this week. Thanks for tuning in. See you again next time.